I know you've heard this crowd like that before, but just what does that mean for your team to have to have the crowd come out when you guys are walking in here 4-13 and carry you guys home like that?
It says so much about the people of Sacramento, man. I love them dearly. I think that our team will begin to understand who they are. They come and they bring it all the time. And what they ask for is that you pour your heart out on the court, and that's not too much to ask for. And for our guys to play like that, it makes you happy and excited to see our fans be able to get that vibe. It's a good vibe.
Doug, DeMar was just in here a second ago, and he said that Keegan is kind of the key to this team and that it's his team. Do you kind of think along the same lines that Keegan is, as Keegan goes, the Kings go?
Yeah, I think that Keegan he's a special player, man. I mean, because when you have the ability to do so many different things and affect the game in so many different ways, like scratch the 26 points, that kid went and got 15 rebounds, and he guarded the best player in the post and on the perimeter. So he guarded their big man, and he guarded their guard. Like, what are you going to do? Then he knocks down big shots. Just really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Super proud of and for him because he's put in work. He has the hand. He gets it handled, stays in shape, stays locked in, and comes back and contributes. And he does it in a spectacular way that is very Keegan-esque. Yeah.
Doug, 8:34 to go. You burn the final timeout on that challenge. You're down 12 at that time. And then the fight that your team showed, like, from then on was, I don't think we've seen that yet this year. How proud of you, how proud are you of the fight you saw tonight? And where did that come from and when we haven't always seen it?
It's, I thought we saw it in Denver. And I said defense creates offense. And there's a magic in there. I know everybody doesn't, defense isn't sexy and all these different things, but defense means that you're saying no, and we're going to stand our ground. And that's tough because everyone got to be on the same page. That means whatever the coverages are, and then when it breaks down, everybody got to be willing to scramble and give second and third efforts. That's a high level. So for me to watch them do that is super exciting. It's there, but to see it consistently, that's the sign that you're looking for, and you keep building on it day by day.
Doug, it goes without saying that there's been some struggles early in the season, some bad losses and whatnot. This team tonight came out and fought like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. To see a win like that, what does that do for a team like this, where you have a mixture of young guys trying to find their identity, veterans? What does a win like this do for this team, the identity, the culture, and is this one of those wins that can flip the page kind of going forward?
You have to stay with the consistency of what you do, obviously, but these are the things that help to build and create the identity of fight and determination and all the little tiny things that equal the big thing. So for us, it's huge because when you, in the big scheme of things, this is another team win. It's not just like, one guy and no, this is, DeMar. Hats off, 24th, Alex English. I mean, you passing Alex English in anything, you're doing some work. But Keegan comes up big. Russ comes back in the game. Malik comes up big. Precious, like, you go down the line. Dennis, like, just on and on. Malik, every minute that everyone played, there was something that they did to contribute to the win. And that's what teamwork is all about. It's not going to be perfect. People are going to make mistakes, but it can't be from the effort standpoint, and that was spectacular tonight. I commend them. Yeah, big time.
More than 80 combined points from in the paint and at the free throw line. How essential is that to your guys' game, and what's the key to generating those paint touches?
Well, whether it's a paint touch off of swinging the basketball, advancing the basketball early in the game. We had some kick-aheads. You're getting at the 45. You're touching the paint. Or you have the ability to, set a screen and roll, and all of a sudden you create an advantage. Now you touch the paint. Once we're touching the paint, a key with a team like this is you do not want to get too deep because they are so big that all of a sudden the passing angles go away. So as soon as you touch the paint, you have to get off the basketball, and guys were willing to do that. And when that happens, all of a sudden you start to generate some offense because now once that ball is kicked out, you got them in closeout situations. Guys are now driving it again, swinging the basketball. When you do that, you put them very handsy, and you can get to the penalty. And once you get to the bonus, then you get to the free throw line and you knock them down. I mean, between Keegan and DeMar, 18 for 18, DeMar 15 for 15. If you're going to shoot 28 free throws and knock down 26, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to win, and that's what we did tonight.
Coach, you were out of timeouts with 8 minutes and some change left. What was the message to the team at that point?
Just to continue to fight. You're trying to find rhythm. You're trying to find combinations. You're trying to find an offensive flow. But what my probably biggest conversation was with them is it's all about stops and rebounding the basketball. If we get stops and we rebound the basketball, we can go score the ball, but we really have to make sure that we're getting stops and rebound. And Precious came up with some big ones. Keegan came up with some big ones, and then all of a sudden we're out in transition and we're finding our way. But it was mostly about defense, trying to get stops, because that's the reason that you're using your timeouts, unfortunately, because it's not about the offense. Normally it's about the defense, and they responded in a big way.
Coach, there was a distinct toughness and really flexibility with the front line of Precious, Keegan, and Max. I'm curious how that helps your defense. Keegan mentioned you can switch 1 through 5, and how you like that combination.
Max, for a young player, I just continue to watch him grow, and his ability to communicate on the floor is at a high level. Then he's willing to go 1 through 5, try to keep a guard in front of him, understand where his help is at, send him that way. Be physical. Keegan and Precious just continues to impress, his ability to switch and communicate. I can't say enough about Keegan. Keegan guards everybody on the floor, from the point guard to Rudy Gobert. And that's a special gift and a willingness of a teammate to sacrifice of themselves, because as somebody who did that, I know that on that end of the floor it can be quite taxing. And then for him to go on the other end of the floor and still find his way, just coming back now, his third game was really big. But the ability to switch across the board helps us keep people in front of us. And it's something that we will look to do going forward when we have the ability in the matchups.
Doug, this kind of goes back to Kevin's question, but you look around the NBA and you see a lot of empty arenas for teams that have struggled. For you as the head coach, for your players, do you think that kind of the abnormality of Sacramento is lost on some of the players and their ability, the fans to just show up even during tough stretches? Or
I agree with him. He looked at you when you said abnormality. I'm like, whoa, what's abnormal about Sacramento?
They show up when their team is playing.
Listen, because they love basketball. They love this team. And that passion should be gifted in a way that's where my passion comes from. When we hit the floor, you got to give it up, man. You got to give it. And that's what they did. To our guys' credit, they gave it up. And that's what these fans deserve. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, because there's a synergy between this team and this city that they just waiting for it to happen, and super excited to watch it. It's a special thing. This arena hasn't necessarily took on its identity yet. Arco had its identity, This one is still defining itself as this ball club is setting an identity at the same time. And when that clicks together, it's going to be a beautiful thing to behold.